Welcome, guys. Welcome to our video. This is Just Math, y'all, and we are looking at solving linear inequalities from a Math 98. All right, and so this is a series of videos that we're going to go through, and here's the first one. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, we're going to solve inequalities, and basically we're going to solve them and be able to graph them on the number line and then write an interval notation. So here we go. All right, so first of all, we need to know our symbols. And the way you know your symbols is the ESS. If I put ESS inside our symbols, one of them reads less than, and one of them doesn't. So this one must be the greater than. The one that looks like a squished L is the less than. This one is less than or equal. The line underneath indicates equal. And this one is greater than or equal. And again, the line underneath represents an equals. Now, when we're doing our interval notation, which we'll talk about in just a minute, I'll show you the symbols for those as well. Okay, so this first one says x is less than 4. So we're going to color the numbers less than 4. Color the numbers less than 4. All right, so on my number line, I'll color these numbers. Now, when I get over here to my arrow, that left arrow is called negative infinity, and I am coloring it because it keeps going. Now, I'm not coloring the 4 because it says less than 4. It doesn't say less than or equal to 4. It just says less than 4. So I'm not coloring the 4. We're going to put an open circle there or a parentheses, okay? And that's x is less than 4. All right, the next one does not say x is less than or greater than anything. It's written backwards. So flip this guy around so that it says x first. So if it says x on the left and negative 3 on the right, then the alligator is going to continue eating the x. We don't want to change the meaning. Okay, so now I have x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So this one greater than negative 3. And this one says equal to negative 3. So I am going to color negative 3. And we're going to put a bracket right there. Okay. So here's the way this works. When we do interval notation, which is up next, which is what we're going to do next, we use brackets and parentheses. Okay. And so on the less than, we use a parentheses. On the greater than, we use a parentheses. But when we have a less than or equal, we use a bracket. Greater than or equal, a bracket. Now in high school, you might have done the open circle or the closed circle, right? This one would be the open circle, and this one would be the closed circle, if you remember that. Okay, I'm putting that in pencil because we don't really do that anymore. But that's what that is. We kind of do. But we have the open circle for those and the closed circle. So you won't really see those, but I'm just mentioning those. Okay. This next one says x is greater than 0. So I color the numbers greater than 0. And it doesn't have an equals, so it's open. I get a parentheses. So now here's how we do the interval notation. This is the thing that makes it hard for people. Interval notation is left to right. And it's also least to greatest, or the small number first. And that's what we do. So if I look at this first number line, on the left, I have negative infinity. and on the right, I have a 4. Okay, and so now on the 4, I have a parentheses. And so I put a parentheses on the 4. Now, what do I put on the infinity? Well, the parentheses is meaning not equal, whereas the bracket means equal. Okay, we're not equaling 4, and we technically can't equal infinity. Infinity always takes a parentheses. Always takes a parentheses. So infinity always takes the parenthesis. Okay, so now let's look at the next one. All right, so left, the number on the left is -3. The number on the right is positive infinity. Okay, the 3 has a bracket, and infinities always take parentheses. All right, left to right. On the left, we have 0. On the right, we have infinity. Infinity always takes a parentheses. This one is not equal, so it's also. This is the interval notation. Okay, let's do another one. All right, so now we're actually going to solve them, and then we'll do the graph on the number line, and then we'll write the interval notation. So we'll solve them, graph the number line, and do the interval notation. All right, so now we solve these like equations with one exception, and that one exception is when dividing by a negative, we flip. Okay, now technically it's dividing or multiplying, but 9 times out of 10, you guys are going to be dividing. So let's do these. So now we just solve these as normal. So I'm going to subtract 7 on both sides. And I get x is less than -9. Okay, so I'm going to draw my number line. Now I'm real lazy with my number lines. Here's 0, and -9 is over there. And that's all I need to know. Okay, and it says color the numbers less than -9. That's this way. Left is less. So I go this way. All right, I do have an equals. So that's going to be color the -9, and it's going to get a bracket. Right? And then for my interval notation is left to right. So the far left number is -infinity. The far right number is -9. Infinity always takes a parentheses, and I got an equal on the 9, so I got a bracket on the 9. All right, let's do the next one. This one we're going to divide both sides by -3, which forces the flip. So x is now less than -5. It was a greater than, but now my answer is -5. So again, I'm lazy with my number line. 0 and -5 is on the left. I'm going to color less. This time I don't have the equals. I don't have the equals this time, so it's just going to be a parentheses. So I've got -infinity on the left, -5 on the right. That one has a parentheses. Infinity always takes a parentheses. Next one. Keep solving just like you do regular. So I'm going to subtract x on both sides. Now I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides. And now I'm going to divide by a positive 2. Now the question is, do I flip? No, because I'm dividing by a positive 2. And the rule says dividing by a negative. And I'm not dividing by a negative. I'm dividing by a positive. All right, so that's going to give me x is greater than or equal to -7. Again, I'm going to be lazy and just put 0 and negatives are over here. And I'm going to color greater than -7, so that's this way. It does say equal, so I'm going to color the -7 and put a bracket on it. All right, so now for my interval notation, on the left I have -7, on the right I have positive infinity. Infinities always get a parentheses, and the number's going to get a bracket. Okay. All right, so here we go with the next video. Come check back with us for the next video, and just keep practicing. It's just math, y'all. See you in a minute.